Well, good morning and welcome in to a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. And I spent the first half hour yesterday talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I did not realize what was imminent, and that is and I want to be precise here, announced end to some of the DEI programs at Ohio State. I am quite sure they hope enough to forestall the withholding of federal funds from the university because they get a lot of money from federal taxpayers and they do not want that money to go away. So yesterday, Colonel Top Gun Ted Carter, the president of Ohio State, went before the university senate and announced that two offices, which traffic in DEI nonsense, and 16 staff positions will be eliminated under direct threat of the Trump administration that the federal funding will be pulled if they do not. Now, as you might imagine, this did not go over well with a packed auditorium that was listening to Ted Carter. Ted Carter's never going to admit this because, you got to be somewhat of a politician to become a university president. He's never going to admit that he's really glad that this utter nonsense is going away, or at least that he has cover to make some of it go away. But certainly not all of it is going away because I'll give you the numbers later on what Ohio State spends on DEI, and what they're getting rid of does not begin to eliminate all of it. So maybe we'll all have to make use of a DEI reporting portal that the federal government, U.S. Department of Education, announced yesterday, a portal and DEI, where you, me, and other people whose brains are not so infected with DEI nonsense that we think anything other than meritocracy should play a role in hiring and in awarding of scholarships, we can go and we can report further instances of DEI nonsense at Ohio State and other places where federal money is essential to what they do. But here is Ted Carter yesterday. He was booed at times. There were groans. There were tears as he announced that the Office of Institutional Equity will be renamed the Office of Civil Rights Compliance. What agencies are they getting rid of? They're getting rid of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and the Center for Belonging and Social Change. So that's a good thing. Colonel Carter tried to alleviate the gnashing of teeth and the renting of garments among the Ohio State snowflakes by saying this. Let me talk about some of the things that are still here. The most important thing is our values, our mission statement, what we do. That was met with catcalls and boos, which forced Colonel Carter to say, let me finish. They are still here. The work that's being done in the colleges at the unit level, they are all still going to continue in this important work. Well, the wokesters in the crowd were not having it. Here's a guy we've talked about before. His name is Pranav Jani, an Ohio State English professor and president of the American Association of University Professors, which, the epitome of wokeness. Afterward, he told the Lantern, even when Carter spoke, how about you refer to him with the respect that he has earned, not just by being a military hero and an outstanding fighter pilot, training other fighter pilots at Top Gun school, but also the fact that he's the president of the university. Maybe not a great idea, Pranav, to refer to Ted Carter by his last name. Even when Carter spoke, I was like, oh man, why are we so quiet? Why aren't we like booing him and being like, get out? But that wasn't the mood, right? Because people were listening and building their strength. And then what happened? He started saying, but we still have our values. And we're like, no, we laughed at him. We laughed at him. We actually took him off his game. He's Vice Admiral Carter, a very smooth talking guy. We actually took him off his game. Well, big talk from a perhaps soon to be unemployed professor, Pranav Jani. Now, this is welcome news. There should not be any effort invested in ideologically, financially, in diversity, equity, and inclusion at Ohio State. A university is supposed to be an academic learning environment. It is not a place where that learning environment should be infected, and I choose that word purposefully. It should not be infected with advantaging one student over another based upon immutable characteristics. It should solely be a system that operates based upon the brain power of the people who are sitting in class, studying the subjects, and then being tested on those subjects to see what knowledge they have retained. But we have allowed over time, and it's not just dating back to George Floyd, we have allowed over time DEI to take over academia. When I went to school, it was, I'm sure, there, but quietly under the radar, but they've gained the confidence and the cover from administrations like Barack Obama and Joe Biden to not just go public with what they believe about the propriety of disadvantaging some people to advantage others that they prefer to advantage, which is discrimination, which is racism, which is sexism, which is any other ism you want to say. The cure for discrimination is pretty simple. It's not to discriminate. It's not to pick a group that in previous decades discriminated against one group. Very easy one is whites against blacks during the years of slavery. The cure for that is to eliminate discrimination based upon someone being black. It is not, certainly not now, 160 years after slavery was eliminated in the United States of America, to continue to discriminate against whites who, how many generations removed are we from the 1860s? Pretty sure. Well, I shouldn't be as sure, because given what we're told about the number of people who are getting Social Security who are more than 200 years old, maybe there are people getting Social Security who own slaves, but I don't think so. So Ohio State jumped before they were pushed off the ledge into the pool of getting rid of some DEI. Why do I say some? Well, let me take you back to December the 31st, 2024. Story in the National Review. Ohio State University spent $13.3 million on DEI-related salaries last year. This according to Open the Books. 201 people on the OSU faculty in DEI-related roles. 201. How many are they getting rid of? 16. 16. Two of the employees in the 201 make nearly $300,000 a year each. We don't know the names of anybody that they're getting rid of at Ohio State in light of Ted Carter's announcement yesterday. But if one of them is James L. Moore and one of them is Keisha Mitchell, then Ohio State is going to save over $500,000 in salaries. 29. Again, that's more than the 16 they got rid of. 29 of the 201 people in DEI jobs earn between $100,000 and $269,000. There were, maybe there still are, as National Review reported, 90 people, 90, not 16, 90, working in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and 32 in the Office of Institutional Equity. How did that manifest itself? Oh, well, you hear the course offerings that they might now have to do away with on the Ohio State campus. Back on New Year's Eve, OSU offered a course on queer ecologies, which the course description said would seek to disrupt the gendered and heterosexual assumptions embedded in how we understand the environment, nature, and bodies. Ooh. The goal was to reach a new way of thinking about planetary and climate change. Ohio State received, according to National Review, $3 billion in federal taxes and grants and contracts since 2020. So you want to know why? Ted Carter got up in front of people yesterday and said we can't survive without federal tax dollars because that's how much Ohio State gets. What do you think the total is if you count Michigan and Iowa and Michigan State and other Big Ten schools and other schools around the country and the Ivy League schools?
Windy with clouds and sunshine. This afternoon's high 55, partly cloudy and breezy. Tonight, low 32. Sunshine and some clouds. Windy for Saturday. A few snow showers with a high 35. Tomorrow night, low 19. Plenty of sun on Sunday. The high 35. Sunshine and some clouds for Monday. High 43. And a high 59 on Tuesday with clouds and sun. I'm Andy Ross on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Ralph Drawlinger, president and founder of Capital Ministries. I have the privilege of leading the Senate and House member Bible study every week in Washington, D.C. And I'm also the host of the new weekend program here on your radio station called Capital Ministries Weekend. Listen along as we discuss the crossroads between the Bible and politics on a timely basis.
Listen to Capital Ministries Weekend, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on 98.9 FM The Answer. Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 10 and 2 to Retire Ready Ohio with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. The firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group, a state-registered investment advisor.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Carl Jackson stands up for the America he loves on the Carl Jackson podcast.
Donald Trump has the authority as the head of the executive branch to fire and to stop payments within the executive branch. Appropriating funds is one thing, fighting corruption and theft is another. We wanted Trump to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Did we know that it was going to be this bad? No.
Subscribe to the Carl Jackson podcast today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect prevents any attempts to steal your home, equity, and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word HOME to 94878. That's right, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity Protect.
If you like to eat great food and you have an appetite for knowledge and insightful analysis, then I would suggest you bookmark Friday night, April the 25th on your calendar and go to 989theanswer.com and buy tickets to our event that night at Der Dutchman in Plain City. Yes, the legendary Amish restaurant in Plain City, just outside of Dublin, because you will be well fed in your stomach and in your mind. Larry Elder, Salem Radio Network evening host, will be there. I'll join him on stage. So will Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report here on 98.9 The Answer from 5 to 6 every night. The event will open at 6 o'clock, 6:30. The buffet dinner will start. I hate to make your mouth water this early in the day, but homemade bread, roasted chicken, roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, noodles, assorted pies for dessert. Wow. Join us April the 25th at Der Dutchman in Plain City for an evening with Larry Elder. Get your tickets at 989theanswer.com. It was a well-attended funeral yesterday at Ohio State. No, nobody died. Well, some bad ideas died. OSU President Ted Carter announcing one day in advance of the federal government's deadline to eliminate all DEI initiatives, unless you don't mind, living without billions of dollars in federal grants, tax monies, and other things. Then you had to get rid of your DEI initiatives. And, all throughout the whole escalation of DEI on college campuses, we were always told, right, that this was so consequential to what the schools were doing and that this was so necessary. And yet, you know what I've never heard? I've never heard a justification or an explanation how any endeavor gets better, collectively or individually, when you do not award the very best person either a job in a department, a scholarship, whatever. I mean, I would love to hear an explanation for how hiring a woman over a man if a man is more qualified, or a man over a woman if a woman is more qualified, or someone who's Hispanic over someone who is Asian, unless the Hispanic person is more qualified. I would love to just hear and have it explained and maybe show me with data. But instead, they just come at us with slogans, right? Diversity is our strength. Statistics show. What statistics? I'd love to see them. It's a straw man argument. You get better when you hire the absolute best person, or when you invest your scholarship dollars in the absolute best person. Society benefits individually and collectively. I'm willing to be talked out of that, but I don't think you could do it, because I don't think the argument exists, because you would have to suspend common sense and logic to think that if I hire an inferior person when there was a person who's superior in talent, ability, potential, how's my organization going to get better? What? Is there some magic dust that comes with DEI that I'm unaware of? So they're doing this because they're forced to do it. Ted Carter said yesterday, and again, they're only going to eliminate 16 positions over the next 60 days. They've got 200 DEI people out there. So they're not going all the way. They're doing the minimum amount that they think they have to do in order to not have their gusher of federal tax money dry up. Here is Ravi Belakanda, who is, what's his title? As a provost. He met with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion staffers and explained to them why some of their positions in their office are being eliminated. Oh, that's such a harsh word, Bruce. You know what all the stories say about this? The programs weren't eliminated. They were sunsetted. See, the sun has set on them. Hopefully it was peaceful, like at Key West, where you watch the sun go down and then you just like calmly drift off to sleep. They weren't eliminated. That sounds too harsh. We can't. If you're in diversity, equity, and inclusion, you probably are very sensitive. In fact, there was one young man out there yesterday who is the president of the undergraduate student government. His name is Bobby McAlpine. And he got up and talked yesterday. And Bobby told the people in attendance at the university Senate meeting that he had cried multiple times on Thursday after hearing the news about the 2 DEI offices closing. He said, it's a somber day to be a student at Ohio State University. Bobby, toughen up, my man. Mr. Bellicoma, back to him, the provost, told the Office of Diversity and Inclusion staffers, we can either wait for the bill, meaning Senate Bill 1 in Ohio, to pass and respond in a way that we can't control, or we can respond in a way that works best for all of us. In other words, we can sort of make the feds and the state General Assembly think that we're eliminating DEI, and hopefully, getting rid of 16 people is enough. Never mind that there's more than 100 left. Or if we could let them come in here with a sledgehammer and just bash the whole thing to smithereens. Not that anybody would notice if that happened. Mr. Belliconda told the employees their positions are, quote, risky to defend legally. Well, you didn't have to stop there. You could also say they're risky to defend morally. So they are doing this only because they are forced. You might recall back on Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, all you DEI people, that the Department of Education sent out a Dear Colleague letter, which offered an ultimatum: eliminate race-based hiring and awarding of scholarships on your campuses by the end of the month, or risk losing federal funding. Now, is this just like mean old Donald Trump, mean old Stephen Miller? Actually, no. It's the mean old U.S. Supreme Court. Because this initiative from Trump to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion should have happened in the summer of 2023, when North Carolina and Harvard stood in front of the justices of the United States Supreme Court to argue that affirmative action was constitutional and was good and was essential and was our strength and all the other blah, 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 nonsense they utter. But instead, the court overruled state-sanctioned racism, also known as affirmative action. But did Joe Biden move to do anything? Oh, he didn't, right? He defied the Supreme Court. Oh, Donald Trump's a dictator. Really? Has he defied any Supreme Court orders yet? Trump's getting stopped by injunctions from local judges from implementing some of the things in his executive orders. Is he going ahead and doing it anyway? No, he's going to court to try to win. That's how it works in this country. Unless you're Joe Biden, and then you can just ignore a Supreme Court order on affirmative action. You can ignore a Supreme Court order on student loan forgiveness. You can brag about the fact that you don't have the authority to end student loans, but I did it anyway. Not to mention vaccine mandates and rent moratoriums and all the other stuff. So I do not mourn for you if you've been given a position because of a characteristic you had nothing to do with. You didn't get to choose your race. You didn't get to choose your ethnicity when you were born. And you shouldn't disadvantage someone else because you happen to win the intersectionality Olympics.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump expected to sign an executive order perhaps today designating English as the official language of the United States, reverses a Clinton mandate. Under this order, government agencies and organizations that get federal money can choose whether to continue offering documents in languages other than English. During his visit to the White House today, Ukraine's president expected to sign an agreement that grants the U.S. mining and development rights to Ukraine's deposits of rare earth minerals, critical element in today's modern technology. President Trump says the deal will also allow the U.S. to recoup billions in wartime aid it has supplied to Ukraine. On Wall Street, stocks in positive territory this morning. The Dow is up 115 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index ahead 27. More details at srnnews.com.
Everybody, Charlie Kirk here. I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? Mixed messages, fad diets, and quick fix solutions. Many people are left stuck and exhausted trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you feel this way, you're not alone. I used to feel that way too. But let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body is actually actively working against you. I know this from personal experience. And delaying action only makes it harder. I took a step 2 years ago and called PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition, and I lost 40 pounds. I feel great, and I've kept it all off. If you are ready to make a change for your life, call 864-502-1777. That is 864-502-1777 to schedule your weight loss consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Call 864-505-1777 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is my
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this hour has helped.
Thursday, the Ultimate Issues Hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is Open Lines.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to Pragertopia.com and hear all your favorite segments, along with lectures, celebrity interviews, his famous Torah teachings, and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at Pragertopia.com. Pragertopia.com.
Human trafficking is modern-day slavery, and it happens in our own communities. Victims can be any gender, age, or race. Join the Department of Homeland Security's Blue Campaign to learn how to recognize and report this heinous crime. Visit our website at www.dhs.gov/Blue Campaign. That's www.dhs.gov/Blue Campaign. Your second look could be their second chance.
He's a constitutional law professor. He's appeared on every major news network, and he's proud to call himself a Buckeye. He's Hugh Hewitt. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 5 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
If you are looking to engage in a home remodel that includes new flooring where you live, I'd love to help you with it. Or maybe your business, you got that commercial carpet and it's been in there for a long time and man, it looks nasty and it doesn't make a very good impression on your customers when they come through the door. Or you would like to really beautify your retail space. I can help you with that as well. Residential, commercial, it does not matter. I can save you money and get your products installed faster. Go to my website, brucehooley.com, and click on flooring. Man, I met a couple really lovely couples today. I'm engaging with, I think, 3 people this afternoon after the show. I love meeting my listeners, and I love exposing you to a larger understanding of how the flooring business works. For instance, a lot of times you'll see a low price, and you'll wonder why that is. Well, it's because they're pricing something by the square foot instead of by the square yard. Big difference. So you need to know these things, and I'm more than happy to educate you on them and help them with your project. So go to brucehooley.com and click flooring, brucehooley.com and click flooring. We got a ton of national headlines today, too, but the local headlines overpower them because, of course, we are first and foremost local on the Bruce Hooley Show when we can be. You can get national headlines elsewhere. You can't get local headlines anywhere else other than the Windsor Report from 5 to 6. Jeffrey Epstein files. That's some funny business going on there. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, said they were going to be released yesterday. Then she wrote a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel saying, hey, you got agents in New York City who are holding up the process. They did release some things last night, but almost everything that they had released last night was already released before. But there's something funny going on with that. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, The head of Ukraine is at the White House today, supposedly signing the minerals deal that would give us some economic protection, some return on the money we've sent to Ukraine, and hopefully would help bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. We still have to get some of the details hammered out with European countries that would be putting peacekeeping troops on the ground in Ukraine. We would be over there doing commerce, but we would not be sending. Pete Hegseth has been steadfast in saying it will not be U.S. military boots on the ground in Ukraine. So that is going on. And Trump is supposed to sign. Trump is signing another executive order today. This one is establishing English as the official language of the United States. I know you thought it wasn't already. No, apparently not. It wasn't. And we got more details on the mysterious, weird circumstances surrounding the death of legendary actor Gene Hackman. We'll have all details on all of that for you. But first, hey, violence in Columbus continues unabated. We had 2 people shot to death the other day. I didn't even get to it because, again, news is writing about the plane that crashes or talking about the plane that crashes, not the one that lands, because the one that lands is normal. Well, in Columbus, sadly, violence has become pretty normal. But last night we had a person shot to death and 3 others injured in a shooting on the Near East side of Columbus. No suspects taken into custody. But here, eclipsed only by the end of, well, the announced end. Again, I really don't think it's going away. I think it's going to have to be ferreted out, sniffed out, rooted out at Ohio State DEI. But the first steps were announced yesterday by Ted Carter, the president, that they're shuttering a couple of organizations on campus and getting rid of 16. But they have 200 plus DEI employees, and they spend like somewhere between $13 and $20 million on this nonsense every single year. So we've covered that in the first half hour of the program. If you missed it, then you can go to 989theanswer.com and find that on the podcast. We'll probably mention it again in hour number 2. But here's the big news. It was October. I looked it up today. It was October 31st of last year that I came on the air and told you about a phone call that I had received from someone who's high up in the business world, and they were engaged in conversations with someone who had been on the inside of the Intel project out in Licking County, Orange Township. And what I was told was the project is in big trouble and it may never get built. Now, I wasn't reporting it. I was just saying, this is what I'm hearing. There are construction delays and nobody's saying anything. And I was not first to that. Matt Mayer, who joins us every Thursday, opportunityohio.org. Matt was first saying, pump the brakes a little bit on this whole Intel enthusiasm. Remember the enthusiasm? Oh, we had everybody in town when they broke ground out there. We had Sherrod Brown. We had Tim Ryan. Did we have Biden? Was Biden here for that? I don't remember. I'm doing my best to try to forget him. Mike DeWine was out there. They were taking a victory lap. Everybody was hugging and trying to take credit for it. And then they changed everybody's way of life out there in Orange Township, and the trucks started rolling in, and they dug a big hole, and they filled it up with concrete, 200 metric tons. But then I got that phone call like, hey, Intel's in trouble. Nothing in the local media about it. Oh, sure, the stock price is down 54%. And yeah, we laid off 15,000 people around the world. And yeah, we're not on the S&P 500 anymore because our stock got downgraded. But don't worry, everything's fine. Jobs Ohio said everything was fine. Mike DeWine said everything was fine. Jobs Ohio and Mike DeWine, they couldn't be wrong, could they? No. Well, today, in the dispatch, the Intel plant, which was supposed to start producing high-end semiconductors, little computer chips that run everything in the world, they were supposed to start rolling off the assembly lines out there in Licking County this year. This year. Now, the dispatch says that the Intel people have a different opening date, and that date is either 2030 or 2031. And that its second Ohio factory, yes, they're building two, won't be completed until 2031 and will begin running in 2032. Now, what would you say if you were building a house and the construction manager came to you and said, hey, we're a little behind? Well, how far behind are you? Well, don't worry. We'll have it under roof and inhabitable in 5 years. That's a kind of a significant construction delay, don't you think? Here's the head. Oh, I demean him with faint praise. Here's the real title. Executive Vice President, Chief Global Operations Officer, and General Manager of Intel Foundry Manufacturing, Naga Chandrasekaran, wrote a letter to Intel employees about the delay. The changes have been made so Intel can align its factory operation with market demand and better manage our capital responsibly. I slowed down there because that's what's really going on. Manage our capital responsibly. Let's put that in the Hooley translation machine. Blah, 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 blah. Manage our capital responsibly. We need to find more money. That's what that means. Our stock price is down. We're struggling. We don't have the money to build. We tried to sell it to someone else. They wouldn't buy it. We're in up to our necks. We're getting $8 billion in funding from the federal government. Oh, remember the Biden celebrated the bipartisan nature of the Intel deal? Oh, awesome. What have you gotten done, Joe, besides ruin the border, besides compromise our standing on the world stage, besides get 13 servicemen killed in the disastrous withdrawal from Hamid Karzai Airport? What have you gotten done? Oh, the CHIPS Act. Oh, yeah, the CHIPS Act. $8 billion in funding. Back to Mr. Big Title at Intel. He says, I wanted to be upfront and transparent with you about our current plan. In no way does this diminish our long-term commitment to Ohio. We will continue to scale our hiring as we approach our operational dates. Your operational date was 2025, Mr. Big Title. We will continue to scale our hiring as we approach our operational dates. You know what that means? That means we're not going to hire people. Remember all the $100,000 jobs? Every job is going to pay over $100,000. Well, we thought that would happen now. It's not going to happen until 2031. He says, though, Intel is proud to call Ohio home. I bet you are. What other state would be stupid enough to upend the lives of people who were happily living in their rural area in Licking County and Orange Township and now have been treated to the belching smoke of diesel trucks and cranes and other construction equipment, upsetting the life that they were blissfully enjoying until you came in and made a bunch of promises you can't keep? He says, we remain excited about our future here. Sure you do, because the money pit's never drying up. As I said yesterday with Matt Mayer, this project is too big to fail. Mike DeWine will be long gone by the time this thing starts producing, if it ever does start producing. This could go down as one of the biggest federal wastes of money ever.
Clouds and sunshine. This afternoon's high 55, partly cloudy and breezy. Tonight, low 32. Sunshine and some clouds, windy for Saturday. A few snow showers with a high 35. Tomorrow night, low 19. Plenty of sun on Sunday, the high 35. Sunshine and some clouds for Monday, high 43. And a high 59 on Tuesday with clouds and sun. I'm Andy Robb on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hey, it's big. Rob Schmidt recently beat CNN in key ratings as millions are tuning into Newsmax. Every night, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax revealing the truth about Elon Musk's Doge. Tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. And President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our great shows anytime. Go to newsmaxplus.com and start your free trial. That's newsmaxplus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
This is Josh Pickens, Blueprint Radio Show. The thing that I hear most often in meetings is, what do I do when it seems like stocks and bonds are getting crushed? Rates at the bank are abysmal, and inflation is at 40-year highs. Well, you're not alone, and there are better options. Did you know that you can lock in darn near double-digit returns in a positive market while simultaneously accepting zero downside risk? Learn more about ideas like this and many other ways to improve your financial situation by listening to the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
Hey, it's big. Rob Schmidt recently beat CNN in key ratings as millions are tuning into Newsmax. Every night, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax revealing the truth about Elon Musk's Doge. Tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. Even President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our great shows anytime. Go to newsmaxplus.com and start your free trial. That's newsmaxplus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
Larry Older here, inviting you to join me on the Patriot Alaska Cruise this summer. A once-in-a-lifetime trip where patriotism and luxury meet. Picture this, you cruising through Alaska's stunning wilderness on a first-class luxury ship, surrounded by breathtaking glaciers and majestic mountains. Joining us will be Mike Gallagher, Jennifer Horn, and Joe Piscopo. But that's just the beginning. We sail August 16th through the 23rd through the last frontier. On board, you'll enjoy thought-provoking talks, exclusive events, and unforgettable memories with fellow patriots who share your conservative values. Text the word travel to 94878 to reserve your cabin today. This is more than just a cruise. It's a chance to engage with some of the most respected voices in conservative America while exploring one of the most beautiful places on earth. Space is limited, so do not wait to book your cabin. Text travel to 94878. That's travel to 94878. I'll see you on board where patriotism, adventure, and luxury come together.
Make 989theanswer.com your home for all things conservative talk and for saving money. For instance, right now, the hottest deal in the Discount Shopping Club is half-price tuitions available to Ohio Christian University. Now, you can get a $5,000 OCU scholarship for just $2,500. That's a savings, of course, of $2,500. Ohio Christian University, fantastic. It's in Circleville. You could commute if you're a student. Go down, it's a 45-minute drive, maybe. But I would highly suggest you live on campus. The dorms are beautiful. I've been down at OCU. I've spoken a time or two, went down there for an athletic event as well. It's a beautiful campus, and it's really going to grow. You'll be proud to attend Ohio Christian University. It'll equip you with a biblical worldview. The Discount Shopping Club also has still one of the 2 furnaces from Temperature Pro Columbus available, and other deals, Mac Mattress Outlet and other vendors. They know where to find great customers in the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com. I apologize. My headphones fell on the floor and I was unable to get them back in. So you can hear me talking to you, but I can't hear me talking to you right now. But we'll figure it out and we'll continue to plow through. They're trying to figure it out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. What in the world happened to Gene Hackman and his wife? They were both found dead in their home earlier this week, along with a dog that was found dead. And when I originally heard this, I thought, well, Gene Hackman, he's one of my favorite actors. Very unfortunately for him, probably carbon monoxide or a gas leak or something like that. Hackman was found in a mudroom with his cane beside him. He's 95 years old. The wife was found in a bathroom with a bottle of pills. And then I started to think, oh, did she poison Gene Hackman? Or did Gene Hackman like die and she was so distraught she then went and took a bunch of pills and killed herself? But there was a dog there too, dead. Now we hear today that they didn't find them immediately. And Hackman has been in a movie for 20 years. Kind of a recluse, well known in Santa Fe. He was obviously an artsy guy. But he kind of kept to himself. Didn't, not like De Niro and some of these other older actors. Hackman didn't make Donald Trump's election magnify it into the end of the America that we have known. But I always enjoyed Gene Hackman's work. I enjoyed it in Hoosiers, Mississippi Burning, in The Firm, other great movies. Gene Hackman's great. Poseidon Adventure, that's an old one. But here is, now we find out, the New Mexico, the Santa Fe sheriff says that the bodies were partially mummified. Now, I get what a decomposing body is. Is that the same thing as mummified? I never thought it was. But here's the Santa Fe sheriff saying that they're not ruling out anything in the death of Gene Hackman.
There was no immediate sign of foul play. Haven't ruled that out yet. This is an investigation, so we're keeping everything on the table.
Everything on the table. Now I heard another report today that said that Gene Hackman and his wife might have been there for weeks since anyone found them. Here's the 911 call. A guy who worked at the house, apparently not regularly, called 911 when he looked in the windows and saw at least the wife and maybe Gene Hackman laying on the floor.
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at the property. There's no address here. So I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the lead house. I'll bring them up here.
How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Okay.
This 911 operator ought to work for CNN or MSNBC. Those are kind of stupid questions. Are they breathing? I don't know. I'm looking in the window. I mean, like, come on, dude. You got to do better than that. I don't know that it makes any difference, but this is what I think they're going to find. They're going to find that there was a gas leak. There was a CO2 leak, if in fact they've been there for a couple of weeks, and that the leak has dissipated in the house right now. But when they do the autopsy and the toxicology, that's what they're going to find. Because that kind of a death, you don't really know the danger of it. You just get sleepy and go to sleep, or it just suddenly overwhelms you. Here is Santa Fe sheriff with his last word at his press conference this morning on where the investigation will be going from here.
Not ruling it out. What I did state was there was no obvious sign or indication of of foul play. I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot, and any evidence that we collect. But I haven't ruled any of that out yet. It's not normal to find two people deceased in a residence. That's concerning. And then there was also a dog that was in a kennel that was also found deceased.
Cops have a special way of talking. It's not normal to find two people deceased in a residence. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So this is, Gene Hackman wasn't acting in movies anymore, but this is just, I hate that the circumstances of his death will give rise to conspiracy theories, because I really liked him as an actor. I thought he was a fantastic actor. And the one thing I guess now in hindsight that I admire about Gene Hackman is that he didn't feel like because he was a famous actor that he had something to say outside his lane, right? Like De Niro thinks he's got something to say outside his lane. He doesn't. We don't care what you think. You've lived a privileged life. All these other nutcase Hollywood people like Julia Roberts and Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck and all these people, Jennifer Lopez, all these people who have luxury beliefs and lived a privileged life, they love scolding us when they've never had to sit down and wonder, how am I going to pay the light bill this month? How am I going to pay the gas bill this month? They don't live the life we live, but they want to tell us how to live their life. Gene Hackman did not do that. So that's a good reason to remember Gene Hackman fondly, besides the fact that he was a terrific actor. Okay, now here in the state of Ohio, they're very upset, as you know, about Senate Bill 1, which would introduce intellectual diversity on campuses, would basically police the fact that they don't teach civics or anything else on campuses and that they disparage the United States of America and its divinely inspired founding. Now, this will be another really controversial bill if it gets any traction. New Richmond State Representative Adam Byrd has a solution for the declining math and reading scores in the state of Ohio. He says kids are not in school long enough. Right now, the minimum school year is 1,001 hours. He wants to add 54 hours to that. That would be at least, what, 8? You think they calculate an 8-hour day? I don't think kids are in school 8 hours. At 8, they're out by 3. That's 8, but most of them, okay, let's say 8. So he says the Ohio school year used to be 180 days. Now it's 175. He said spring break's gotten longer. Christmas break has gotten longer. We've now added a fall break. We're shortening the day. We've added in professional training days for teachers. And I think parents are feeling that their children are not in school as long as they were when the parents were in school. He's right about that. I didn't have a fall break. I had a Christmas break, but I didn't have a fall break. I certainly didn't have a spring break. Here's the understatement of all time. Representative Byrd said he is expecting pushback from teachers unions. You think? Asking them to work another week? Yeah, that'll go over well. He says it would be up to them to negotiate the additional hours. I'm sure that conversation will be pleasant.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info.
Hey, thanks for joining. That's the first hour of the program. We will be back Monday with another hour on the live stream on the channels, my social channels, my Twitter feed. We will broadcast the second hour only on the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page and the 989 The Answer Facebook page. So I appreciate you guys' time and attention, and I hope you have a great weekend, super weekend. Take care.
President Donald Trump